Good morning. I'm Tiffany Lashmet with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. I wanted to talk today about 5 points, kind of from a legal perspective, as it relates to New World Screwworm here in Texas. Number one, it's important to rely on good sources when you're getting information about the screwworm and the legal issues that may arise from that. There's a lot of information out there right now. Some of it is accurate. Some of it is not. We would really encourage you to make sure that you're using official information sources to get your information. Things like the USDA's screwworm.gov website, the Texas Animal Health Commission website, the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension website, all great sources of information. In fact, we have built one link that has all of these sources in one place for you. We will link that in the comments below. Make sure that you check that out. So if you're looking for information, we've got those resources pulled together for you in one place. Number two, I think this point is really important. Infested zones are not lockdown zones. So we're recording this on Tuesday morning. Currently, there are 6 infested zones covering portions of 13 counties here in Texas. There is a quarantine in place in these zones, but importantly, that quarantine does restrict movement. It does not completely prohibit movement. We've heard some folks saying that, oh my gosh, we're locked down, we can't take anything in or out. That's not the way that those infested zones work. So in order to move animals out of an infested zone, you do have to jump through some extra hoops, right? There definitely is some additional steps that have to be taken. These include an inspection from someone qualified to do those types of inspections. It includes identification of some sort on the animals. You have to do some treatment protocols or show that you have done those on those animals. The Texas Animal Health Commission is the one kind of leading up the charge on those infested zones. They've got great information on their website for you to check out. But again, important to know that those infested zones, the quarantine that's in place, is not an absolute lockdown. Number 3, I think this one's important, and I've seen a lot of folks have questions about it over the past week or so. If you are planning to travel out of state, if you are leaving Texas to go to another state, you need to make sure and look at the rules for that state regarding bringing animals from Texas into another state. I've got friends who are traveling all over the country right now to go to different junior national shows with cattle. And there are some states that have different rules right now for bringing animals in from Texas. I've seen some states that have different rules. If you're in an infested zone, you may have to, again, jump through additional hoops to enter that state. There are some states that have addressed this by making rules for Texas animals as a whole. So what I would encourage you to do is whatever state you're traveling to, check with the state veterinarian in that state to make sure you're complying with all of the rules to get your animals into that specific state. Number 4, I think this one's really important. Have not seen a lot on this. From a legal perspective, you know that I'm big on writing things down and documenting what you're doing. I think that applies here as well. I would encourage you, if you are treating animals, if you are treating wounds, if you're doing any sort of preventative treatment, make sure that you are documenting that. So for example, if you're doing some sort of preventative treatment, if you are using something like a Dectomax or an Ivomec, if you are treating open wounds on an animal, there's some aerosol screwworm sprays that have been applied for that. Any of that type of treatment, make sure that you're documenting that. Identify what animals you're treating, identify the product that you're using, the dosage, the date and the time that that treatment was given. In the event that you do end up in an infested zone, having that information can be really helpful when it comes to dealing with inspections and showing what treatments have been done on those animals. So take the time to document that now. And then number 5, it's important to report potential screwworm infestations. The number 1 piece of advice, if you've listened to all the experts and the animal scientists, and they're saying the best thing to do is to have eyes on your animals, right? Be watching for any signs of screwworm infestation in open wounds. Reporting these suspected or potential infestations is really important from a response perspective. For example, there are sterile flies that are being released all over Texas in the infested zones right now. There's no way for them to know where they need to be releasing those sterile flies if these types of reports aren't made. So while you're watching your animals, I would just encourage you report if you do see something that looks suspicious.